At just 27, a resilient and devoted mother navigates the delicate balance of life with unwavering dedication. Despite the challenges she faces, she works hard to overcome them for her children. However, just as good things begin to happen, tragedy strikes unexpectedly. Her family and friends are determined to uncover the truth about what happened to their loved one on that fateful day in Kansas City, Missouri. What happens when love becomes fatal? This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast with Heartland Homicide.
July 28th, 2018. It's early Saturday morning in Kansas City, Missouri, the Show Me State's largest city.
It's really thriving downtown, so it's a fun place to live. It's a fun place to work.
It's a great place to raise your family.
Kansas City is known for being a good Midwest city. It's in the middle of the map. It's the Heartland.
But even the Heartland of America has its fair share of crime.
We have, unfortunately, a large number of homicides within the city.
Look.
And in the pre-dawn hours that morning, the grim tally goes up again.
Somebody, no! What happened?
911 received a frantic call from a woman.
Somebody please hurry!
A young woman was found in the yard of her grandmother's house.
When police respond, they find a grieving family gathered outside the house.
There was a young woman laid out on the grass, and she was covered in blood.
Guys, go ahead and step back for a minute. Let my partner work on her, okay?
Do you know her? This is your niece?
I can only imagine the fear, the trauma that immediately set in when you see your loved one laid down on the ground.
What happened and how long she'd been there isn't clear.
A family member had found her lying motionless in the yard, moments before the 911 call came in.
Andrew.
Came in there and said he found her out in the front yard.
She had stab wounds all over her body, from her head to her neck, her chest, her stomach, her arms.
Ear suction in the chest.
But when the EMTs check for vital signs, it's clear the victim is already gone.
Unfortunately, as much as they tried, there was nothing that they could do.
What happened? What happened? We don't know. We don't know.
All anyone knows for sure is the identity of the victim.
What's her name? Andrea Vine.
Life had been a series of challenges for 27-year-old DeAndrea Vine.
DeAndrea had some struggles that she had to deal with.
From childhood, DeAndrea had suffered from epilepsy and associated learning disabilities.
Having a learning disability and a chronic illness like epilepsy can be damaging to self-esteem.
Epilepsy or with any type of cognitive delays can make it very hard to function in a school setting.
She was in special education classes.
She did not let that stop her. She was a very determined soul.
But there was one part of her life where DeAndrea didn't struggle.
DeAndrea was quite popular in school. She had a lot of friends, got a lot of attention.
And soon after high school, she attracted a different kind of attention.
At 18, DeAndrea met a man who she developed a long-term relationship with.
His name was Marcus Williams.
How you doing?
When you're young, you're excited to know that you have someone that likes you.
You have a young lady dealing with the difficulties of feeling different, and now you have a young man expressing interest in her.
DeAndrea felt like when Marcus is different, it gives me hope. It reminds me that I'm safe and everything is better.
Over the next few years, what started as a teenage crush turned into a family.
They had 4 children together, and they were happy and making things work.
She was loving her kids, and he helped with the kids as well.
She was always trying to do the right thing and always trying to be a good mother.
But love couldn't overcome all the problems DeAndrea faced.
With motherhood, you don't always get it right. It's very, very challenging.
Eventually, DeAndrea's children were taken into foster care by the state.
A doctor alerted Child Protective Services because he suspected Marcus may have physically abused one of the children.
DeAndrea couldn't believe it.
It made her mad and frustrated.
DeAndrea was adamant that Marcus would never hurt her children.
They didn't even determine he actually did it. So they just had him go to anger management classes.
Getting their kids back would be an even greater ordeal.
And having to have this interaction with children's services, I would imagine that posed as a difficult time for her.
For any mother, losing your children is not easy. It's not something that you've ever planned for.
Worse was to come.
In 2017, worn down by the custody struggles and his battle over the abuse allegations, Marcus committed suicide.
I can only imagine how DeAndrea felt now that she doesn't have her children living with her and the love of her life has taken his own life.
But she wasn't alone.
She had a very strong family support group who were very lovely individuals.
With her family's tireless support, DeAndrea managed to get her children out of foster care.
We had to go through a lot of, allegations and everything to get them back.
And she wasn't going to let anything stop her from rebuilding her family.
DeAndrea took a job at Walmart, which was very difficult for her with the epilepsy, but she was determined to get things back on track and to provide for her family.
She's a fighter. It takes a strong woman to be able to have these learning disabilities, health issues, be able to get up and go to work every day, to provide for yourself and show the courts that you are capable of being able to take care of your children.
But now, a year after Marcus's suicide, DeAndrea's family has called 911 after finding her bloody body in the yard outside her grandmother's house.
She was lying on the ground, wrapped in a blanket, bleeding from multiple stab wounds.
But when EMTs remove the blanket, they uncover a possible motive for the crime.
They discovered that DeAndrea's underwear was missing.
This could have been a sexual assault.
Stay tuned for more of this heart-wrenching story as we uncover the chilling details of what unfolded during this tragic event. This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
Hey, what's up? This is Alfreda's with the Urban One Podcast Network. Let me introduce you to today's sponsor, Chamberlain University. There's a pattern among successful people in any industry. They surround themselves with the right support. And in healthcare, that support starts at Chamberlain University. For over 130 years, Chamberlain has been helping nurses and healthcare professionals fulfill their calling. It's the largest nursing school in the country, offering flexible learning, real mentorship, and a network of over 160,000 professionals. Because progress isn't just about working harder. It's about having the right people in your corner. You got this, and Chamberlain has got you. Get started at chamberlain.edu.Chamberlain University. Belong to something greater. Certified to operate by Chev.
To all the HBCU students making moves, listen up. For over 20 years, McDonald's has been at the side of college hopefuls. And with over $1 million in funding this year through the Black and Positively Golden Scholarship, Mickey D's is helping HBCU students rise and flourish into their graduating roles. This scholarship season, get ready to take your place when you apply for a McDonald's Black and Positively Golden Scholarship. Visit mcdblackscholars.com to apply now. Applications close on April 25th, 2025.
A year after the father of her 4 children committed suicide, 27-year-old DeAndrea Vine was rebuilding her life.
With help from her mother and grandmother, DeAndrea was able to get her children out of foster care and back with her family.
She went and obtained a job at Walmart, which, given her epilepsy, could present as a difficult thing to do. But she took the challenge head on.
She continued to move forward with her life after all the tragedy that she had experienced.
But now DeAndrea's children have suffered another tragic loss.
Early that morning, DeAndrea's cousin found her bloody body lying in the grass in front of her grandmother's house.
Hey guys, go ahead and step back for a minute. Let my partner work on her, okay?
She was stabbed multiple times all over her body. Her face, her neck, her chest, her stomach, her arms.
And that may not have been the only horror she suffered.
DeAndrea was found with no pants and no underwear on, which led them to believe that she was sexually assaulted.
While it will take an autopsy to determine if that's the case, detectives arrive and are able to determine where the deadly attack began.
There was a trail of blood leading from the front yard all the way to a white van that was parked outside of the house.
There was a large amount of blood on the driveway just outside of the passenger side.
When detectives checked inside the minivan, they found that it was covered in blood.
They also find her cell phone in the van, and there's a receipt on the floorboard.
The receipt contains what appears to be an important clue.
Oh, we got a shoe print.
On this receipt was a blood-stamped shoe print. It was a big clue for detectives because she wasn't wearing shoes.
And it wasn't just any shoe print either.
It was the Vans brand of shoe, which has a very distinct print on the bottom.
Looking to narrow things down even further, detectives turn to DeAndrea's family.
Ms. Vine lived with her children and some of her other family members in the home where this occurred.
So sorry about your loss this evening. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Most of the family members at the scene were either too young or too distraught to interview.
However, DeAndrea's uncle does have some useful information for detectives.
Her uncle arrived home around 1 a.m. and he actually seen DeAndrea outside talking to a younger male.
She was sitting right here in the shed with some of her blood, something with a backpack on. I remember that.
Okay. But he said when he parked the car and walked up to the house, this man was gone. He disappeared already.
He told them he never really got a good look at him.
All he can say for sure is that he was young and wearing a backpack.
When you say young, are we talking like young or like?
I didn't know. I'm talking about young, like
18, teenage.
DeAndrea's uncle says he assumed the young man was a friend of his niece's.
Hey, how you doing, Nathan?
Hey,
He did speak with DeAndrea and everything seemed fine.
You okay?
Yeah.
Everything all right? Okay.
He didn't think anything of it, nothing suspicious, and he went inside to go to sleep.
Until 3 hours later, when DeAndrea's cousin burst into their grandmother's house.
My brother's kid, he came in at 4 o'clock that morning, and he said he seen her out there, blood everywhere.
However, when the detectives asked who might have wanted to harm DeAndrea, her family members had no idea.
Is there anyone that you can think of that she's having any arguments or beef with right now? No?
All right. Thank you guys for the cooperation.
After talking to the family, the detectives fan out across the neighborhood, looking for possible witnesses.
They go door to door on a mission to find out what happens to DeAndrea.
One neighbor does describe something unusual.
There was a woman across the street that happened to see a man driving, and he stopped and asked her, "Hey, did you order an Uber?"
Hey, excuse me. Did you order an Uber? No, I didn't.
She explained to the Uber driver that she hadn't requested a ride, and he drove off.
Okay, do you know what time that was?
That was at 1:48.
Then, as she was heading inside, she heard a commotion across the street.
They're arguing and fighting. It sounds kind of serious. So I was like, okay, well, let me listen a little bit just because I'm nosy too. So I'm listening and I hear a girl, she sounded like she was saying, okay, I'm sorry, stop, I won't do it again. So that's when I was like, are you okay?
Hey, is everything okay over there?
She had actually called out to see if somebody needed help. and then she didn't hear anything else.
But she says she never saw DeAndrea lying in the grass, covered in blood.
There were several cars parked on the street in front of the residence, which was obscuring her view of the body.
But the neighbor says she did see someone.
A gentleman walked to the side of the van, and he got like a bag or something out of the van.
What kind of bag? Like a backpack or a...
I know it wasn't like a Walmart bag or a trash bag, but it was a bag.
She didn't have a lot of details that she could give detectives about who the person was.
As far as like making out his facial features and stuff, I didn't really get a very good look at him.
Okay.
I could tell he was black.
Did you see maybe how old he looked?
No older than 25.
Detectives suspect this was the same person DeAndrea had been talking to earlier that night.
Her uncle had already told detectives that the person she had been speaking with was wearing a backpack and appeared to be pretty young.
But it's not until DeAndrea's sister arrives at the scene that they get their first clue to his identity.
She was telling me about this guy she worked with.
There was this guy at Walmart that was flirting with DeAndrea.
In fact, DeAndrea's sister thought that they had done more than just flirt.
Do you know his name?
No, I just know he was really young.
After family members found DeAndrea Vine stabbed to death in her grandmother's front yard, her sister has given detectives a clue to the identity of the man she was seen with earlier that evening.
DeAndrea's sister informs them that DeAndrea may have been talking or messing around with a young person at work.
That gave detectives something to work with as far as who this individual she was speaking to might be.
Do you know his name?
No, I just know he was really young.
So were they like dating or just kind of flirting at work?
They were just messing around.
I'm not really sure what they were doing.
Her sister didn't know much about the dynamic of the relationship.
But she does know that DeAndrea enjoyed the attention.
I would imagine it would be very difficult being a single mother raising 4 children, maybe not much time for dating. And so it would feel great to have someone show interest.
Aren't you supposed to be in the stockroom?
Yeah, but, I just came to say hi.
It probably just made her feel like the most special woman in this world.
However, according to her sister, there was one big drawback to DeAndrea's new suitor.
Her sister stated that he was only 17.
So there's a chance it was just flirting?
I just know she had a problem with it.
He's not 18 yet, and she is 27. There could be legal repercussions.
If DeAndrea had rejected the teenager, could that have led to a deadly attack?
The police suspected that she'd been sexually assaulted, so there was a possible scenario where the coworker had forced himself on DeAndrea, and the violence escalated when she fought back.
There were a large number of stab wounds, which is usually indicative of someone who knows their attacker. There's usually some sort of a relationship to garner that much rage.
The morning after DeAndrea's murder, the detectives attempt to track down her would-be boyfriend.
Detectives head to Walmart to find out who this 17-year-old is.
While talking to DeAndrea's manager, they learn that the young man is most likely 17-year-old Xavier McDowell.
The manager tells them that he actually sees DeAndrea and Xavier a lot in the break room.
And according to the manager, they weren't just hanging out.
The supervisor said that they had to break them up from making out in the break room.
He would have to tell them, hey, you guys have to stop and go back to work.
Their behavior was inappropriate, but there were no indications of any sort of harassment going on.
It was just that she was engaged in sort of a workplace romance with this young man.
I'll give you his address.
With the relationship between Xavier and DeAndrea confirmed, investigators head to his parents' house to question him.
We're looking for Xavier McDowell. We just need to ask him a few questions about one of his co-workers.
Xavier?
Yes, sir.
We need to ask you a few questions about DeAndrea Vine.
Sure. I heard about what happened, but I just can't believe it.
When they talked to Xavier, he seemed very sad, very affected by the news that she had passed away.
She was such a nice person.
During the interview, Xavier is upfront about his relationship with DeAndrea.
He did indicate that they had a sexual relationship, but there wasn't much other than that sexual relationship between the two of them.
So no plans for the future?
Nothing like that. It was just having fun, you know.
He called it a lust relationship. He said they had only been together 2 times.
They met up at a hotel.
Why a hotel?
When she lived with her people, and we couldn't meet here. So.
Xavier lived with his mom, so his place was out too.
He informed detectives that the last time they had sex was about a month ago.
When was the last time you saw her?
It was yesterday at work.
He told detectives they had been on the same shift at Walmart the night before.
They didn't talk because things were so busy at work.
He was only able to wave hello to her.
What time did you get home from work?
10. My brother had picked me up.
Xavier told investigators that his brother had picked him up for work and that he had stayed in for the rest of the night.
And Mom, you can confirm that he was here all night?
No, I can't. I worked the graveyard shift and I didn't get in until 5 a.m. this morning.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Was it possible he'd slipped out later that evening and went to see DeAndrea?
Detectives were aware that Xavier didn't drive, and he lived about 3 miles away from DeAndrea.
Detectives doubt that he walked.
However, one of DeAndrea's neighbors did tell detectives there was an Uber in the area around the time of the murder.
They needed to track down this Uber driver.
Detectives also need to see who DeAndrea had been in contact with on the night of her murder.
Detectives subpoena records for DeAndrea's cell phone.
Whether DeAndrea met up with Xavier or someone else that night, her phone records may show who she had talked to on the phone or exchanged text messages with before they got together.
But detectives are still working those leads when they're contacted by another of DeAndrea's co-workers.
Homicide.
The woman called police and told them that she had some potentially important information.
I don't know if it has anything to do with what happened, but she told me something.
Ms. Vine had communicated that she may be pregnant.
Stay with us as we continue to unravel what occurred that day in Kansas City, Missouri.
Hey, what's up? This is Alfreda's with the Urban One Podcast Network. Let me introduce you to today's sponsor, Chamberlain University. There's a pattern among successful people in any industry. They surround themselves with the right support. And in healthcare, that support starts at Chamberlain University. For over 130 years, Chamberlain has been helping nurses and healthcare professionals fulfill their calling. It's the largest nursing school in the country, offering flexible learning, real mentorship, and a network of over 160,000 professionals. Because progress isn't just about working harder. It's about having the right people in your corner. You got this, and Chamberlain has got you. Get started at chamberlain.edu.Chamberlain University. Belong to something greater. Certified to operate by Chev.
To all the HBCU students making moves, listen up. For over 20 years, McDonald's has been at the side of college hopefuls. And with over $1 million in funding this year through the Black and Positively Golden Scholarship, Mickey D's is helping HBCU students rise and flourish into their graduating roles. This scholarship season, get ready to take your place when you apply for a McDonald's Black and Positively Golden Scholarship. Visit mcdblackscholars.com to apply now. Applications close on April 25th, 2025.
Detectives investigating the brutal murder of DeAndrea Vine have learned that the 27-year-old may have been expecting her 5th child.
According to a co-worker, DeAndrea had told her that she was pregnant.
The news takes detectives by surprise.
None of DeAndrea's family had said anything about her being pregnant.
Is she pregnant? You don't think so? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Of course, DeAndrea may have had her reasons for wanting to keep the pregnancy quiet.
Did she say who the father was?
No.
Detectives suspect the answer may be DeAndrea's 17-year-old co-worker, Xavier McDowell.
Xavier admitted that DeAndre and him had been intimate with each other on 2 separate occasions.
So she didn't say it was Xavier's?
No, I kind of just assumed it was.
Associates from her workplace knew that she was involved in a romantic relationship with Xavier.
If he's the father, does that also mean that he's her killer?
He was only 17, so he might not have been happy about becoming a father.
Did DeAndre ever talk about possibly ending the pregnancy?
No, but that wouldn't be like her either.
She was a mother of 4 who adored her children.
Detectives also have to consider the possibility that the baby wasn't Xavier's.
If DeAndrea had been hooking up with someone else, jealousy could come into play.
Maybe she was the victim of a love triangle.
Did DeAndrea ever talk about possibly seeing someone else?
As far as I know, it was only Xavier.
Love triangle or not, when detectives received DeAndrea's autopsy report, it's clear whoever killed her was enraged.
When investigators got the autopsy results from the medical examiner's office, the first thing that stood out was the sheer violence of the attack.
It was well over 30 stab wounds.
And that's only a fraction of the injuries cataloged by the medical examiner.
A stab wound is something that actually penetrates into the body. And then there's incise wounds, which are more of a superficial cut. And she had dozens of both on her body.
She also had defensive wounds to her hands and arms.
DeAndrea fought desperately with her attacker.
These type of stabbing cases, there's a lot of rage involved and just a lot of severe injury, which unfortunately make the victim's demise just so much more brutal.
And there is one more thing that the autopsy makes crystal clear.
She was not, in fact, pregnant.
It's potentially a bombshell piece of information.
Was DeAndrea simply mistaken when she told her coworker she was pregnant?
Perhaps more importantly for the investigation, what had she told Xavier?
For Xavier to have a motive, it wasn't necessary for her to actually be pregnant. He just needed to think she was.
When detectives received DeAndrea's phone records, they combed through call logs and text messages looking for the answer.
The records showed that Xavier did reach out to DeAndrea in hours before the murder.
They found several phone calls from Xavier to DeAndrea.
DeAndrea did not answer any of his calls.
The detectives have no way of knowing exactly why Xavier was calling DeAndrea, but their text messages give them a pretty good idea.
There were text messages where detectives saw that the two of them, just a few days before her death, discussed a possible pregnancy.
Xavier texted DeAndrea and said, "Oh my God, stop telling me that stuff.
Don't tell me you're pregnant."
Xavier was not happy.
Could he have been desperate enough to kill?
Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction podcast.
Hey, what's up? This is Alfreda's with the Urban One Podcast Network. Let me introduce you to today's sponsor, Chamberlain University. There's a pattern among successful people in any industry. They surround themselves with the right support. And in healthcare, that support starts at Chamberlain University. For over 130 years, Chamberlain has been helping nurses and healthcare professionals fulfill their calling. It's the largest nursing school in the country, offering flexible learning, real mentorship, and a network of over 160,000 professionals. Because progress isn't just about working harder. It's about having the right people in your corner. You got this, and Chamberlain has got you. Get started at chamberlain.edu.Chamberlain University. Belong to something greater. Certified to operate by Chev.
To all the HBCU students making moves, listen up. For over 20 years, McDonald's has been at the side of college hopefuls. And with over $1 million in funding this year through the Black and Positively Golden Scholarship, Mickey D's is helping HBCU students rise and flourish into their graduating roles. This scholarship season, get ready to take your place when you apply for a McDonald's Black and Positively Golden Scholarship. Visit mcdblackscholars.com to apply now. Applications close on April 25th, 2025.
Detectives investigating the murder of DeAndrea Vine have learned that the mother of 4 wasn't pregnant. But it appears DeAndrea's co-worker turned lover, Xavier McDowell, didn't know that.
Based on the text messages between Xavier and DeAndrea, he was panicking about the prospect of becoming a father.
Being 17 and being told that you're getting ready to be a father, that has to be scary, especially if you're not in a place financially to support a family.
However, tying Xavier directly to the murder proves more difficult.
The pregnancy gave him a motive, but none of the eyewitnesses that night were able to give detectives more than a vague description.
One neighbor saw a man bend down, pick up a backpack, and then run off.
DeAndrea's uncle had also seen a young man with a backpack talking to DeAndrea on the porch.
Neither of the witnesses got a good look at the young man, but detectives suspect there may be a way to identify him.
According to DeAndrea's neighbor, there had been an Uber driver in the neighborhood at the time of the murder.
Excuse me, did you order an Uber? No, I didn't.
The neighbor told police he'd been trying to locate the person who'd called the ride.
Now detectives are looking for the Uber driver to see if Xavier was a passenger.
It's important to put Xavier at the scene during the time of the murder.
Detectives contact the rideshare company and are eventually able to track down the driver who was in DeAndrea's neighborhood the night of the murder.
Hello?
He said that he was dispatched to that address around 1:30 that morning on Saturday.
But the rider wasn't there.
I didn't actually pick up anybody.
Why is that?
While I was waiting, I heard screaming. There's a woman screaming.
The driver says he never saw the woman, but he did see a man.
He said that he'd seen a man running away.
He ended up getting scared and left.
Did you see what this guy looked like?
I don't know, it was dark. I didn't really get a good look at him.
What about the ride request? Was there a name on it?
Yeah, usually, but this time it just said X.
The rider had only used an initial for his Uber profile, and the card linked to the account was a prepaid debit card, so it didn't have a name on it either.
However, the driver does have some useful information for detectives.
The destination for the requested ride was Raytown South High School.
Raytown High School is really close to Xavier's house.
Okay, thank you.
But it still isn't enough to put Xavier at the crime scene.
So they went back to Walmart, that went through hours and hours of surveillance footage of inside the store.
The surveillance footage captures both DeAndrea and Xavier at work just a few hours before the murder.
Just as Xavier told the police, they didn't really interact on the video.
They did wave at each other.
But that isn't all the video shows.
Hold it. Go back.
But you see something?
Yeah, right there.
Xavier was wearing Vans.
That was the same type of shoe as the bloody footprint left on the receipt detectives found at the scene.
It was very clear that it was the same brand of shoes.
It's the extra piece of evidence the detectives need.
They proceed with an arrest warrant to take Xavier in.
When detectives sit down with Xavier, he agrees to make a statement.
He started out by repeating what he said to police in his first interview, that he and DeAndrea were just together for casual sex.
I wasn't really in love, and I knew it wasn't supposed to go any further.
But there was a complication, or so he thought.
She told me that I had got her pregnant. Oh, she did?
Xavier said that DeAndrea told him about the pregnancy a few days before the murder.
Did you have any reason to not believe her, or? No, because I know what I did, and I know I should have wore that condom.
Xavier also admits that he wasn't happy about the idea of being a father.
Did you want her to not have a baby? Yeah, at first, but she wouldn't agree to anything like that, so I can't force someone to want to get rid of a baby. Right.
Not that detectives believe him.
They started pressing Xavier about the night of the murder, but he was still sticking to his original story.
Xavier reported that he came home from work at about 10 o'clock.
Okay, so you go straight there. And then you're there until you go to bed. You said midnight? Yeah.
He denied going to her house that night.
It looks like you called her about 4 times between 12 and 1 a.m. Did you do that? I did call her. Right. Okay. Did you go over to her house that night? No. That's just not true, man. Ask yourself this. Would I be asking you if you went over there that night? Would you be sitting here if we didn't know that you went over there that night? No. Okay.
He then confesses that he was there that night.
Xavier said he went to DeAndrea's house that night only looking to hook up.
So you're going over there for your booty call. What time is that? That was around 2 in the morning.
But there was one problem.
There were so many people at the house that they couldn't have any privacy inside.
She didn't want to wake her kids up or anybody, so we had sex in the backyard. Okay. What else happened? Then she went into the front and sat down where there's like chairs, and then I Ubered home.
Detectives know that's a lie.
We found the driver that you originally called and didn't get in the vehicle.
He saw you running off, man.
You heard the screams.
Sensing that they've backed Xavier into a corner, detectives keep up the pressure.
There's no way to get around this stuff, man. I'm telling you, there's just no way.
But that didn't stop Xavier from trying.
We didn't have sex in the back. Okay. We had sex in the car. Which car? The van.
He got in the passenger seat. DeAndrea got on top of him. They did have sexual intercourse.
But according to Xavier, while they were having sex, things took an unexpected turn.
She went crazy.
He said that she pulled out a knife and started to attack him.
She tried to kill me.
Stay tuned for more of this heart-wrenching story as we uncover the chilling details of what unfolded during this tragic event. This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
Xavier McDowell has admitted that it was him in the minivan with DeAndrea Vine on the night she died. But he says he's no murderer.
Did you plan to go over there and kill her?
Didn't. What were you planning to do? Just talk to her? Sex.
He said that while they were having sex, she pulled out a knife.
I saw her lift up a knife. You saw her lift a knife up while she's on top of you? Yeah.
He says what happened next is mostly a blur.
He was able to grab the knife, but it was only reflex.
My hand went like this, and that's how it kind of cut a little bit. Right. But she didn't really get to cut me.
DeAndrea wasn't so lucky.
Xavier says that he, in self-defense, stabbed her in the neck.
But that wasn't the end of it.
He said that she started to swing at him with her fist.
She was screaming at me.
So he continued to stab her.
How many times did you stab her then? I don't remember.
He said that she then exited the van.
And then she's on like the ground.
But DeAndrea's ordeal was far from over.
He said he had to stab her even more because she had to die.
You were scared of getting in trouble. Yeah. Gotcha. So that's why you killed her. Yeah.
He had to make sure she was dead. That was his logic.
Then, according to Xavier, he'd gone back to the van and grabbed his backpack before returning to where DeAndrea lay bleeding in the grass.
Why'd you come back? Because I didn't know if she was dead or not.
He then stabbed her a few more times to make sure she was actually dead.
Finally, sure that DeAndrea was dead, or at least dying, Xavier made his escape.
I hopped over fences. I ran.
Then he called another Uber for a ride home.
Once he got home, he was able to take off all of his clothes, clean himself up, and then burn his clothes outside in the backyard.
Xavier's story fits at least some of the evidence at the crime scene, but not all.
The physical evidence and the nature of the injury to Ms. Vine's body were not consistent with his version of what happened.
You went over there to stab her. That's exactly what it looks like.
You're not defending yourself. That's BS. We know that.
We know that that's not true.
A realization that sinks in once detectives step out of the interview room.
Lord, please help me. Hurt. My life is over. It's over. It's over. My life is over.
Xavier may be a killer, but he was also a scared 17-year-old kid.
And he's going to jail.
Our man, stand on up.
But Xavier will never stand trial.
Xavier agrees to plead guilty to second-degree murder. He actually admitted that he was the one that had the knife that night.
He said, I didn't tell the truth in the beginning. DeAndrea did not attack me. I actually attacked her.
Still, parts of Xavier's story were true.
He did go over there under the pretext of a booty call.
I think what really happened was they probably did engage in sex in the minivan.
But when it was over, Xavier confronted DeAndrea about the baby she claimed to be carrying.
DeAndrea really thought she was pregnant, and Xavier was scared to step into parenthood.
Listen, DeAndrea, we have to talk about this baby.
I already told you I'm not arguing about this anymore.
He admitted that he was very angry about the pregnancy.
So angry that he became violent.
Xavier, stop!
He started stabbing her in the neck and throat area in the minivan. She was able to get out and try to escape.
But she didn't get far, and Xavier was right behind her.
No, Xavier, please, please!
Then suffered a large number of stab wounds, which would be consistent with somebody likely standing over top of her and stabbing her because he wanted to make sure that she was actually, in fact, dead.
Although at his sentencing hearing, when the judge asks Xavier if he has anything to say for himself, he doesn't keep silent.
He did express remorse at the sentencing hearing. I do think he was remorseful. He was very young when this happened.
Xavier will be far older when he finishes paying for what he'd done.
The judge sentences Xavier to 23 years in prison.
But is the sentence good enough?
This is a mother that was taken from her children. So is this justice? Absolutely not.
What's worse, DeAndrea's kids lost their mother just 1 year after their father's tragic suicide.
Which means that much like their mother, DeAndrea's children will face a lifetime of challenges.
You just have to feel so sorry for these children. My heart goes out to them.
I hope for her kids that they find some peace.
And that's just a void that family can never quite fill as hard as they try. And it's a huge loss.
I'm still trying to get through the storms. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm ending up. But, I have faith.
The unexpected and senseless act that took the life of DeAndrea Vine has shattered the hearts of her loved ones. In the wake of such a brutal loss, those who knew her will remember DeAndrea not only for the challenges she overcame, but also for the unwavering love she devoted to her children. Although her life was tragically cut short, her resilience will continue to inspire those who knew her, and she will forever hold a cherished place in the hearts of her family and children. Coming up on the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
Her family was the center of her universe.
She always wanted to be together, no matter what. Her biggest thing was to connect. She just had a good heart.
And she'd finally found the perfect man to share it with.
Tasha?
Marquise. She absolutely loved him.
He was a good guy. They were like the perfect couple.
But when she's gunned down alongside a childhood friend, no one can make sense of the crime.
With magnetic charm, a vivacious personality, and remarkable talent, a 30-year-old Memphis, Tennessee woman's life changes in an instant, plunging her community into a whirlwind of grief and confusion as they search for answers. Tune in to the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast. We will see you in the next episode.